My name is Katie DiMarino, and I am going to be revising the acceptable use policy for the school district in which I am currently employed, which is the Mapleton Local School District. And I am going to begin by looking at the original document, which you see here, and working through some of the changes going back and forth to really point those out. To begin with, the original heading was Mapleton Local School Student Network and Internet Use and Safety Policy. In my revised document, I made a slight change so it reads Mapleton Local School Student Technology Use and Safety Policy because I really feel after reading the various articles and based on experience as an educator that word technology is more all encompassing for the devices that the students are bringing and using, as well as taking care of those devices in the modern uses. One of the suggestions in the readings was to make sure it is very clear, concise, and user friendly. And just taking a real general look here at the policy, you can see that it's quite lengthy, long paragraphs. The text features are such that it's hard to point out what each section is about. And this really makes it difficult for parents as well as students to understand exactly what the policy is saying. And now we're back looking at the modified version, the revised version. So as you can see, one thing I did do, since it was so cumbersome and wordy, I deleted some phrases. There's one there that I felt were somewhat redundant. There's another one as well. The first and foremost, just simple phrases that I did not feel were necessary in there were removed from the policy, making it a little less cumbersome to work with. The second thing that I did in terms of large changes was break it into sections so that it's much, much easier to follow. I did not feel that the original policy had a definition section, a preamble, acceptable use sections, etc. So I started by adding some Roman numerals. I now have an introduction in here that includes the definition section, which I added right here. I defined technology, internet, and network in this section because I felt like that was a good place to do it right up front. And then I had an acceptable use section, the school district's rights and responsibilities. I really liked it worded that way, so it was very clear and easy for parents to understand. And then I had unacceptable use section, and finally a consequences section and a disclosure at the bottom. In creating these various sections, I did flip some things around, the order in which it was laid out, etc. In addition, there were some words that I eliminated or altered slightly. This educational purpose section, I went ahead and numbered this. It was one of those cumbersome paragraphs before. I just really wanted this to stand out because I thought it was a good introduction. I replaced the word computers with technology equipment because more and more we are using student cellular devices, iPads, etc., clickers within the classroom. Moving down slightly, I again changed the word computers to devices in this section as well. And I added a clause here. Thus, any violation of the policy should be reported immediately to one of the aforementioned parties. And I added this because it said specifically in one of the readings that it was very important to make students and parents aware who is taking care of these issues, dealing with any violations, as well as who that person is that they should report them to. I did delete the furthermore staff members will monitor the online activities of students while at school. I went back and forth on that one, but I really felt that more and more we are teaching the students to be responsible, which is discussed in the school responsibilities and rights sections. But students at the upper secondary level, they really are using the technology somewhat on their own quite a bit more. And to me, I felt like this was kind of saying that the staff member is going to be looking over their shoulder the whole time, and with using cell phones in classrooms to look up information and that kind of a thing, really it is more and more on the student to do so responsibly. And of course, the staff members are circulating. Of course, the staff members are noticing some things, but I just felt like this was putting it more on the staff member, whereas it really does need to be moving more and more self regulated by the student, I think. I added the disclosure section from this information here, which was present in another location within the original document. I just really wanted it to stand out as a disclosure because I think it really is important for parents to be informed extremely explicitly that there is no guarantee that students won't gain access to inappropriate or offensive material, because it happens. And I think that it's really important that this disclosure really jumps out at the parents. Another simple formatting change I made to make it more user friendly, as you can see here in the original document, that font was much smaller, much closer together, less user friendly, almost looked old fashioned, which wouldn't be as appealing to students. So I didn't do anything crazy, but I did use an Arial font and make it a little bit bolder, bolded the sections, bolded the title so that the different pieces and parts stand out to the students and parents. Again, using the bullet pointing, using the bold-faced font, I think that those things really will make a difference, in addition to getting rid of some of this unneeded verbiage. By spacing the information out a little bit, it was a little bit longer than the one-page original document. However, by eliminating all of these sections that I cut out here, when it is truly in its correct format, it's just a front and back sheet of paper, so it's nothing too cumbersome for the parent or student to handle. In addition, it does not include a signature section, and that is because students have a separate form that they must sign with their parents. The reason for that is because the signature page is what is used for the parents and students to sign, whereas this policy is printed in the student handbook. Personally, I think that the policy itself should be attached to the signature page, so I would consider taking the information from that signature page. This is the signature page here that is used, and I would consider taking this information and kind of doing away with a lot of it and having the parent sign directly here onto the document, because I just think that that really would ensure that the parent is actually reading this document through and through, because the way it was written, the chances of a parent actually going to the student handbook and reading thoroughly that section would be somewhat unlikely. So in closure, here is the original document again, and how that looks, that 2-page document in comparison to my revised document. This is my cleaned up version, all of the red taken out. This is what my new document would look like. So as you can see, it's a lot more user friendly, sectioned off, easy for parents and students alike to understand. Thank you.